Alright, imagine this, you're in a high-stakes mission, deep in enemy territory. You have 1 hour to memorize an entire dossier, names, faces, locations, secret codes. Your life depends on how fast you can learn and recall this information. Sounds like something out of a spy movie, right? Well, here's the crazy part. Real-life intelligence operatives, like those in the CIA, actually train their brains to absorb and retain information at insane speeds. And guess what? You don't have to be a spy to do it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to train your brain to speed learn like a CIA agent. Whether you want to ace exams, master a new skill, or just become an information sponge, these techniques will change the way you learn forever. Now, before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever crammed for a test the night before and then totally blanked out the next day? Or maybe you've tried to learn a new skill, but no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't stick. Well, here's the thing. It's not your fault. Your brain isn't designed to learn through endless repetition or passive reading. Spies, elite learners, and top performers know that the secret isn't studying harder, it's studying smarter. And today, I'm giving you the playbook. No fluff, no boring lectures, just high-impact, science-backed techniques you can start using right now. Alright, first up, let's talk about one of the most powerful techniques spies use to process information at lightning speed, chunking. Now, this isn't some fancy spy gadget, it's actually how your brain naturally works. But the problem is, most of us don't use it effectively. Let me prove it to you. Take a look at this number, 274-693-8510. Try to remember it. Go ahead, I'll wait. Feels impossible, right? Now, let's break it into smaller chunks, 274 to 693, 8510. Boom! Way easier. That's because our brains naturally prefer information in chunks, like phone numbers, credit cards, or even grocery lists. Spies use this same technique when memorizing intel. Instead of trying to absorb everything at once, they break it into small, meaningful groups. How can you use this? For studying, instead of reading an entire chapter, break it into key concepts. For learning new skills, focus on one small part at a time, not the whole thing. For remembering names, group them by associations, like Mike from marketing or Sarah the soccer player. So, next time you need to remember a lot fast, don't overload your brain, chunk it down. Alright, here's a hard truth. Just reading something over and over doesn't mean you'll remember it. Ever read a whole page, then realize you have no idea what you just read? Yeah, we've all been there. That's because passive learning doesn't work, but you know what does? Active recall. Spies and intelligence operatives don't just read, they force their brains to retrieve information constantly. Here's how you can do it. 1. Read a section, then close the book and write down what you remember. Quiz yourself, even if no one's around. Say the info out loud. Teach it to someone else. If you can explain it simply, you truly understand it. And speaking of explaining things simply, that brings us to our next trick, the Feynman technique. Alright, this one is a game changer. Richard Feynman, a Nobel-winning physicist, had a superpower. He could explain anything, even the most complex topics, in simple terms. And that's how he mastered everything he learned. Here's how it works. Step 1. Pick a topic you want to learn. Step 2. Explain it like you're teaching a 5-year-old. Step 3. If you struggle, go back, simplify, and remove any jargon. Step 4. Repeat until it's crystal clear. Here's why this works. If you can't explain something in simple terms, you don't really understand it. So, whatever you're learning, whether it's coding, history, or even a new language, try teaching it to a 5-year-old version of yourself. Okay, here's a secret that spies and high performers use to kick their brains into high gear instantly. It's called the 5-second rule, and no, it's not about dropping food on the floor. Here's how it works. The moment you feel resistance to starting a task, learning, studying, reading, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And then you take action immediately. Why? Because if you wait longer than 5 seconds, your brain will talk you out of it. It'll say, maybe later, and later turns into never. So, whenever you need to start learning, count down, then go. Alright, last but not least, let's talk about how spies devour information fast. Contrary to popular belief, speed reading isn't about skimming, it's about training your eyes and brain to absorb faster. Here's how to start speed reading like an intelligence officer. 1. Use a pointer, run your finger or a pen under the words. This keeps your eyes moving forward instead of backtracking. Expand your vision. Instead of reading word by word, train yourself to take in groups of words at a time. Read with intent. Always ask, what am I looking for? Spies never read passively, they scan for key details. And remember, practice makes perfect. Start slow, then gradually increase your pace. Alright, so now you've got the CIA's best-kept learning secrets: chunking, break it down; active recall, test yourself; Feynman technique, teach it; 5-second rule, just start; speed reading, train your brain. And if you start using these today, you'll learn faster than 99% of people. So, here's your challenge: pick one of these techniques and try it right now. Seriously, pause this video, grab a book, and test it out. Then, drop a comment below and let me know which trick worked best for you. And if you want more brain hacks and learning secrets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got some wild strategies coming up next.